Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be taking a first-hand look at the WZ-114 SP2. This is a Chinese Tier 10 Super Heavy, a vehicle that is going to feature the same hit points as the mouse, which is pretty dang insane. Yes, you heard that right. Another Heavy is now going to feature 3,000 hit points. There's a lot of differences between these two vehicles. One of the biggies is the fact that this thing features over 600 damage per shot. So, in today's video, we'll be taking a brief overview of all the statistics there are to know about this tank before it is released into the game. Now, I should add that this vehicle is currently in testing, so they could be subject to change, which for this vehicle, honestly, I don't know what Wargaming is going to do with it, because it's such an awkward tank when we take a look at the stats. So let's get straight into it. Let's start off with the statistics of the 114 SP2 and then make our way over to the armor profile to show you just what this vehicle currently has going for it. Starting off, we see the massive 3,021 hit points. This vehicle is obviously trying its best to be a super heavy, and yeah, 3,021 HP is definitely going to get that job done. Now, I should point out that the equipment here is already stocked on the vehicle, as we can see, and improved modules is being used. So, it's at the max HP it's going to be able to get, but still, that's a freaking crap ton of hit points. When we take a look at the vehicle's top speed, it goes 32 forwards and 13 in reverse. The reverse speed, once again, is kind of disappointing. We're in a meta of autoloaders that can deal all of your hit points. Even this vehicle will be half health by a single 40.05 clip. So, I still feel like Wargaming should be making every Heavy go at least 15 in reverse just as a baseline. That's fine with me, especially because vehicles like the E100, VK72, and Mouse all reverse at 15. But it's not that slow of a top speed for, again, a vehicle that's basically a super heavy. When we take a look at the vehicle's weight, it's 82 tons, which for Germans doesn't sound very heavy, but honestly for the rest of the nations in the game, it's quite a hefty chunk of weight going for it, especially a Chinese vehicle. The power to weight on this tank, while not amazing at 13, we can see that it actually features an average speed of 28, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be all that slow. It's just not going to be that fast either. When we take a look at the traverse speed, it's actually not bad at all, 36 degrees a second. That's not too bad. In fact, the Object 777 version 2, which literally came out yesterday from the time of recording today's video, only turns at 30 degrees a second. So, yeah, mobility-wise, this tank isn't going to be all that bad when it comes to traverse, and same for the turret traverse at 21.87. That means you should easily be able to deal with any flanking mediums as long as you try to turn. So, it might be a little worse on reverse speed than your average super heavy, but that traverse speed of the hull definitely makes up for it. When we take a look at the vehicle's damage per minute, it's low. It's 2,400, and this is with calibrated shells. You can get it up to about 2,600 if you were to run gun rammer, but it's not the fact the DPM's low, it's the fact that the alpha is really dang high. 620 damage per shot. This is basically the same alpha as tier 10 tank destroyers. That is absolutely insane. The heat alpha is 520 and the HE alpha 870. Wow, yeah, this gun is gonna hit really, really dang hard. Now, the penetration on the vehicle is actually a bit on the lower side. The standard is fine, 268 will get the job done. 360 on the premium is not amazing. It's not bad, it's plenty to cut through your opponents, but it's not amazing heat pen. And when it comes to the high explosive, honestly, it's pretty lame. 76 mils, I mean, if you look at vehicles like the T110 E4 using high explosive, which also carry 150 millimeters, the E4 has over 100 mils a pen. So, yeah, the vehicle is having a bit of a downside with the HE pen, but that's not going to take away from the massive splash damage it's going to deal to anybody that is near it. So overall, the gun is very, very nasty. It reminds me of the E100, and yeah, that alpha is going to be really dang insane. When we take a look at the aiming time, awful. Like, that is absolutely tragic levels of aiming time. The dispersion, awful. It's tragic there. So yeah, gun-wise, the vehicle is going to have a very, very solid alpha. It's going to have a very, very solid armor profile when it comes to the hit points it features, but the gun itself is going to be frontline. If you're anywhere more than 100 meters away from your opponents, you're basically just praying that your shells go where where you aim. Gun depression, 7 degrees, same as the U100, so not too bad. It'll get the job done on most situations. The more important part when it comes to a super heavy is the armor. So how is the armor? Well, it's not good and it's not bad. And it's kind of weird to say it like that, but that's definitely the truth. We can see that the upper plate is not good. It's 250 thick. Like, yeah, when you're hauled down, the upper plate is going to be getting bounces. But on flat grounds, that upper plate really isn't going to bounce anything. It's 260. I mean, sure, you'll get a couple bounces maybe, but as soon as you load heat, it's not going to matter. That upper plate's going to be a pen no matter what. Lower plate, while it is big and weak, is still about 220 thick, which means that you actually can angle it and get some bounces if you're pulling around a corner or something like that. So it's not awful. It's not like the WZ's lower plate where it's only 160. It actually can get some bounces here and there. The turret is really the main selling point. It's about 310 millimeters thick base. The edge of the turret is about 320. Now, against T95E6 heat shells, yeah, the vehicle's turret is quite an easy pen. But let's say you're a lower pen vehicle and you've got 340 heat and you're using this vehicle haul down. This is what 340 heat looks like against this vehicle haul down. We can see that the turret cheeks go upwards of 358. So if you don't have the highest heat pen, let's for example say, I don't know, you're playing in an IS-7 and you're loading heat shells with your, or APCR with your IS-7 and having Cali on, this is what you're going to see with Cali against this vehicle in an IS-7. So while the armor may not be great against all penetrable shells, it's also really, really good against lower penetration. So even if you were to get out a Object 260 loading heat with Cali on, you can see even the Object 260 is going to struggle to cut through this vehicle when fully haul down. So yeah, the armor is actually not bad. It's not good, but it's not bad. The roof does have a hatch, a very, very big hatch, but when you're haul down, you're not going to be able to see it, especially for how tall this vehicle is. Side armor, it's actually pretty decent at side scraping, it looks like, but you do have to be careful about your big old turret cut out here. Make sure you're aiming at your opponents. Side armor wise, it looks like it has that troll spot the 5A has, probably the same hull there. Overall though, it's very, very weak. You'll always penetrate the sides as long as you know where to shoot. Side of the turret, absolutely trash. Rear of the tank, awful. I mean, you're not gonna be able to HE it with your average 100 mil, but anything that's higher, like a 150 millimeter, is gonna cut right through the rear of this tank. So yeah, it's a weird vehicle, it really is. The E100 definitely has better armor than this tank. I mean, we can very quickly take a look at the E100's armor if we go to Germany, and you'll see that the E100's turret is just flat better. It's 330 base, and that means if you're using the gun depression, you get it up to 340, and just angling it like this, you get it up to 370. That means Object 260 heat literally has no chance of cutting through the vehicle. The upper plate is nearly impervious, but you do have this massive lower plate that everybody can cut through, which is definitely quite a bit larger than the armor on the 114's lower plate here. So this vehicle is quite a bit smaller than the U100 we can see, but you're not going to be able to angle the turret obviously because of the way the armor works on this tank. So it is definitely a much different playstyle. The best way I can compare this tank is to the WZ-114, which is the Tier 9, which it's actually based off of. Here's the ironic part. The Tier 9 actually has better armor. The upper plate on the Tier 9 is impervious, unlike the Tier 10s, and the turret on the Tier 9, even if you load premium shells, is ridiculously strong, upwards of 450 to, 500 thick. So it's kind of weird to see that the Tier 9 has more gun depression, more armor, and honestly just kind of a better armor profile overall, but it makes sense because the Tier 10 is actually supposed to be a tank destroyer as it is on World of Tanks PC. It's kind of weird. I don't know. We'll have to see how the vehicle comes out when it does. Overall, I'm excited and I think it's going to be a fun vehicle. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.